Hey everybody, today we're going to show you where to find all 25 revered spirit ashes here in the Elden Ring DLC. Now I highly recommend exploring a lot of the map and unlocking as many sites of grace as you can. For a lot of these, we're going to show you the closest site of grace to its location, so it'll make it a little bit easier for you in the long run. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So our first location is going to be found on the southwestern side of the map, pretty close to where the DLC starts. You can see our exact location with our beacon. It's going to be just northeast of the Gravesite Plains site of grace. So again, right here. And once you make your way over here, this is what it's going to look like. On the cliff's edge, you're going to find a statue. And right here in the statue's lap is going to be your first spirit ash. For our second location, we're going to be over by the abandoned Ailing village. And you can see just north of the village, we have our beacon. It's going to be just north of where you can see the Great Bridge and north site of grace, which is where we're going to be starting from. So you can just take that one. And once you're here, we're just going to work our way towards that beacon. So you're just going to go straight through the village and you're going to continue to go straight until you find a drop off at the top of the hill. So just continue to work this way. And you guys will see there's a spot here where you can actually drop down. You're going to have a couple enemies down here that you need to be aware of. But once you take those guys out, you can find your next spirit ash on this statue here. Our next two ashes are going to be found on the western side of the map by the Bellerat Tower settlement. You can see that's where we're going to be standing right at the top of the stairs. It's going to be over here by the main gate cross site of grace. And again, we're just going to be starting from the top of the giant staircase. This is where we're at here. You can see the site of grace at the bottom. But once you make your way up here, if you haven't already, just open the giant doors and continue your way up the stairs. This one's extremely easy to find as you literally just have to continue to go straight. You're going to have a lot of scorpions in this room that you'll need to take out, but once you do so, you can jump up by the statue, and this is where you're going to find your next two spirit ashes. For number 5, we're going to be on the western side of the map as well. For this one, we're going to be starting near the small private altar site of grace. You can see here on your map. Once you make it to this site of grace, we're going to work our way through the door and up the stairs. We're then going to hang a left up the stairs, and then once you're at the top, you're going to immediately take a right, and we're just going to go in a giant U shape here. You can follow the path. Keep in mind, there will be several enemies that you'll encounter along this path, but I've went ahead and taken them all out, so it's a little easier to see exactly where we're going. But yeah, once you make it into this room with the ladder, we're just going to climb to the top. So we'll go ahead and grab onto that and climb up top. And we're going to go right out the door here in front of us, and we're going to take the staircase to the right. And once you get up here, you'll see there's a bridge that's broken that we can't cross. To get across, we just need to jump on the rooftops to the right, and we'll just cross the rooftop here. And eventually, you're going to come to a spot where you can climb back up onto the next section, and right in front of you, you're going to see an enemy with a pot, and that's going to be the enemy that has the spirit ash. So just take him out. I've already done so you're not going to see it pop up on your screen, but once you take out the guy with the pot on his head, the spirit ash is going to drop right here in front of this cool little bridge. So you can go ahead and pick that one up. Now, number 6 is going to be really close by. So we're going to start from where we just grabbed our last spirit ash. We'll show you on the map just in case any of you may have left the area or just like to see it. But once you take out the enemy with the pot on his head right here at the front of this bridge and pick up that spirit ash, we're then going to cross the bridge in front of us, and we're going to hang a left, and you're going to see a staircase in front of us leading up to a giant tree. We're going to go up that staircase, and if you look to your left over here behind the tree, it's going to be another statue. So you can run up to that statue, and here's where you'll be able to pick up your next spirit ash. Now for number 7, we're again going to start from where we just got our last spirit ash. We'll show you on the map just really quick, just in case you're left again. But once you grab the one on the statue there, just turn to your right and continue your way up the stairs. You're going to come into this giant spiral building with staircase going all the way up to the top. You're just going to follow that staircase for a good bit. So you'll go all the way to the top until you find a door where it'll lead you outside to some more stairs. You can follow your way up those stairs. You're going to have a site of grace right here that you can use. And then behind these doors is going to be a boss fight. So if you haven't already done that, you can do this boss fight here. And once you finish that boss fight, you'll be able to go over here to the exit, and there's going to be a lift. So we'll go ahead and walk onto that, and it's going to take us up to the next level where we're going to be able to find the spirit ash. So once you make it up here to the top, you can see there's really only one direction to go. We're just going to go straight and open another 2 giant double doors. And then once you're through those doors, right here on your right is going to be another statue. another spot where you can pick up a Revered Spirit Ash. For number 8, we're going to head to the far western side of the map to the Cliff Road Terminus site of grace you can see here on your map. We're going to be heading toward where you can see our ping right here in this really small body of water. Again, we're going to be starting from the site of grace, and this one's really easy to get to. Pretty open area, not a lot that you're going to get stuck on. We're just going to go straight toward that marker that we placed. You'll have a little spot where you can drop down into the little pond, and then behind the pond on the cliff side is going to be another statue. We'll go ahead and work our way up to that statue. This is where you're going to find Spirit Ash number 8. Our next location is going to be found right next to the Elac River Cave site of grace. You can see that location here. To get here, you just start from the north and work your way down the side of the mountain. It's not too difficult. But once you make your way over here, you're going to be facing forward. What you want to do is turn around and go right back here around this corner. And then hidden right over here in the rocks is going to be another statue. And on this statue is where you'll be able to find Spirit Ash number 9. For Spirit Ash number 10, we're going to work our way over to Bonnie Village. And we're going to be starting from the Bonnie Village site of grace. You can see our beacon is going to be just north, right around this location. And again, we're going to start from the site of grace. It's a little bit tricky to find this one. We'll hop on our horse and work our way through the village. And as you work your way toward the back, you're going to see a little bridge that's broken. It's going to be right here in front of us. And what you want to do is drop down to the bottom and take a left. And we're just going to follow this path all the way to the back. So you can see there's our beacon. We're going to run all the way to the back of this little pathway, and inside of the mountain here is going to be another statue. And you'll be able to pick up Spirit Ash number 10. Number 11 is going to be found over by the Morth Ruins site of grace. You can see that location here. And our beacon is going to be just east over here on the cliffside. So again, this one's pretty easy to get to, but we're going to be starting from the site of grace so we can show you exactly where to go. But once you're here, just hop on your horse. We're going to work our way underneath this giant archway, and we're essentially just going to work our way up the hill where you see those really cool trees. We'll come over here, take a left. We can climb up on the rocks here and just continue to work your way to the back. Pretty close to where our beacon is. You can see right at the top of the hill behind that tree in front of us is going to be your next statue. Now be careful when you get up here. There are going to be some enemies, but right here is where you'll be able to pick up the next Revered Spirit Ash. Our next couple ashes are going to be found up by the Shadow Keep. For the first one, we're going to make our way to the Storehouse first floor site of grace, which is at the very bottom. You can see that location here. Once you make your way over here, you're going to see this giant stuffed beast in front of you right by the site of grace. We need to get on top of this thing. So what we're going to do is jump on these slabs right here and onto this structure. And then we'll run and jump across. And then to get up there, what you need to do is go behind it. So jump over the tail. And in the back, we're going to have more slabs that we can actually jump our way up to the back side of the beast. And from here, you can sprint and jump up onto its back. And if you make your way all the way up to the top, right here is where you'll be able to find your next Spirit Ash. Our next location is going to be at the Storehouse 7th floor. So as you work your way up through the Shadow Keep, you'll find the site of grace on the 7th floor right here. Once you make your way up here, this one's pretty easy to spot as well. You will have some enemies up here that you need to be careful of, but once you take those guys out, you can come right over here to the back where you're going to see another giant stuffed beast. You want to be careful while trying to get to this one. What you want to do is jump up on this ledge here and then just sprint jump across. And right here on the top of this beast, you will find the next Spirit Ash. Number 14 is going to be found near the Castle Watering Hole site of grace. You can actually see that we have our beacon down on the far right side of the body of water over here. It's pretty easy to spot. If you don't know how to get to this side of grace, I believe this is the one that you get to right after going through the coffin. You can just look it up. There's videos on how to make your way completely through the Shadow Keep and to get to this side of grace. But once you're here, just make your way back to the beacon. This one's going to be found on the side of the mountain right at the bottom. But be really careful when you're in this area because you're going to have one of those giant furnace dudes pop out of the water to your right. So you just want to be careful while you're going to get this one. If we look to our right here, you can see he's already starting to get up over there. Just be careful of him. But once you get over here, just make your way to the very back, and against the rocks, you'll find another statue. And right here on this statue is where you'll be able to find the next Spirit Ash. For number 15, we're going to start from the Recluses River downstream site of grace. If you don't know how to get here, you just work your way down the mountain from our last location and you'll end up finding that. You can place a beacon right over here in the Village of Flies, as that's where we're going to be heading. But from this site of grace, we're going to hop on our horse. There's going to be several enemies along the way, but you can actually just jump over them. You don't need to stop and fight them, but you're just going to work your way down the mountain and continue to follow this path. Your first couple enemies will be here. We can go ahead and jump over those guys. Continue to work our way down. You're going to drop off a couple times here. First one here, and then the second time. And once you're down here in this area where there's a lot of enemies, you're just going to immediately hang a right and work your way up the hill. And that's going to lead you straight into the Village of Flies. You'll see it pop up on your screen. And then just stay to your left. You can see our beacon there. And right over here is where the statue is going to be with our next Revered Spirit Ash. So you can go ahead and grab that one for number 15. For our next location, we're going to head over to the Temple Town Ruins site of grace. And you can see that just south of that, we've placed a beacon up on this hill, just south of the Temple Town. And that's where we're going to find our next statue. So starting from the Temple Town Ruins site of grace, we're going to turn around and work our way toward where we placed that beacon through the water here. I recommend staying on the right side of the town just so you don't have to fight all of the guys that are on the inside. Make it a little bit easier, save you some time. We can just ride right over here on the right side. And as you make your way to the back of the ruins, you're going to see this spot where you can actually jump up on the rocks. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to come right over here, jump up on the rocks, and just continue to work your way all the way to the back. Eventually, you're going to come across another statue. We can hop off, and right here at this statue, you'll be able to find your next Revered Spirit Ash. Number 17 is going to be found up by the Viaduct Minor Tower site of grace. You can see that location here. And to get to this one, we're going to make our way to the west, right here where we put down our beacon inside of these ruins. So again, we're going to start from the Minor Tower site of grace. So once you go outside, you can hop on your horse, and we're just going to stay on the path to the right. And that's going to lead us right to the entrance of the ruins that are over here. You shouldn't have any enemies along the way. Just follow the water all the way to the back. But you will have some enemies inside of the ruins once you go inside. So go all the way back over here. You'll start to see the fire, which is where the entrance is going to be. Go ahead and go into the entrance. And then straight in front of you, you're going to see a guy holding a pot above his head. He's going to be the guy holding the Spirit Ash. So go ahead and take him out before he's able to disappear. And he's going to drop the Spirit Ash. Just be careful. You will get attacked by several enemies once you do. But after you take them out, you can pick it up. And that will be number 17. Numbers 18 and 19 are going to be found really close together. Now to get to these, we're going to start from the Rao Ancient Ruins West site of grace. And we're going to be working our way into the ruins. So from this fast travel, we're going to go right where you see the double archways here. And keep in mind, there's going to be several enemies along this route, but I've already taken them out so that it's easier to follow along with where we are going. But we're going to work our way all the way to the top of the stairs. And once you're here, we're just going to go straight out the back to go right back outside. And as you exit these ruins, you're going to find this giant gazebo out here. Again, there'll be a pretty large enemy hanging out around this area that you'll need to be careful of. But once you're in the gazebo, you can pick up your first Spirit Ash right here. Now, after you grab this one, what we're going to do is hop back on our horse. And if you go behind the gazebo, you're going to see another entrance to more ruins. But instead of going inside, we're going to hang to the right. And we're going to come right over here and drop off the side of this ledge one time. And when you drop down, you're going to see a pathway that we can follow going straight ahead. And if you look carefully, up on a ledge in front of us is going to be a guy holding a pot above his head. That's going to be the guy with our next Spirit Ash. But to get to him without him disappearing, the easiest way to do so is to work your way all the way around the back to the elevator. So we can come right over here and drop down. We'll go all the way around the back again, and we're going to drop down some more. And on this very bottom level, there's going to be a lift, and you can see it in front of us. However, it's not on the ground. So if it's not down here for you, hop off your horse. There's going to be a lever that's right here beside it that you can pull. That will bring the lift down. We can then hop on top of that, and then that'll take you up to the top. And then once you get to the very top, you'll see the guy with the pot right in front of you. Just run up to him quickly and take him out before he disappears. And that is going to be the guy that has the next Spirit Ash. So you can take out the other guys next to him, and then go ahead and pick up number 19. Numbers 20 and 21 are going to be found together as well over by the Mance Hall Fast Travel. That's where we're going to be starting. And if you don't know how to get here, you just work your way down through the Abyssal Woods. Pretty easy to get to. But to get to these two, you actually have to go through a maze, and we're going to show you how to do it. So from this fast travel, you're going to take a left and you're going to swing your sword at the wall, which is going to open this little secret passageway. We're then going to work our way all the way towards the back of this passageway. Again, keep in mind there will be enemies in here along the way that you will need to defeat. But once you make it to the back, take a right. You're going to enter this room where you'll have some more enemies. Just go through here, and then we're going to take a left and go into this room. Now, once you're in this room, there's going to be a lever that's hidden in the far back right corner. You can go right back over here, and you'll see in this little back room, there's going to be a lever that you can pull that's going to open up a bookshelf that's close by. So once you hit that, come back right around the corner, and then right over here on the left side, you're going to see that this actually opened up another passageway, and in here is a ladder. You can go ahead and climb your way to the top of this ladder. And once you make it to the top, we're going to take a left. We're going to come right over here and go through this doorway. And then we're going to take a right, and you're going to see another ladder at the end of the room. So we're going to run over here. Go ahead and go up this ladder. And once you're at the top, you want to be careful here. We're going to have some beams that we need to run across very carefully. We're going to walk all the way down to the end of these beams where you can see another room in front of us. In this room is going to be another site of grace that you can use in case you end up dying or falling off or whatever. You can just fast travel back up here. Once you make it into this room, what we're going to do is go to the left, cross this beam, and jump across. And then we're going to come right over here and jump across onto the middle. We're essentially trying to work our way to the bottom. You can jump down onto this platform, and that will get you down to the ground. Now, if you look over there, there's a giant Inquisitor guy. That's going to be the guy with our first ash. But to get to him, we need to jump off and work the way back in the direction that we came from, just on the ground. And back over here is going to be another door that we can go through. And the double doors in front of us will lead you back to the very first site of grace that we started with, so you can open that door. But once you do that, there's going to be a giant painting on the wall. You can swing your sword at that painting to open up another secret room. And once you're in here, we're just going to follow the staircase up to another ladder. This is a pretty tricky maze if you haven't been in here before. But once you get it all opened up and make your way through, it's pretty simple. We can go ahead and climb our way to the top of this ladder. And then once you're up top, you can look to your right. We're going to open this lever here. And you can see directly across from us, that's going to open a little secret spot where we can jump across. It's kind of hard to see on the screen here because it's far away. But what we're going to do now is jump back over to the middle platform that we were initially on. But instead of jumping down, we're going to jump over here to the side. And because we pulled that lever, we can now jump across to these bookcases and get up on the top here. And this will take us all the way around the back to where that Inquisitor is right here below us. So what you can do if you want to do some crazy special attack or whatever, you can jump off the ledge here and do it. But essentially all we need to do now is jump down and take this guy out. So we'll go ahead and jump off the ledge. And we'll defeat this guy really quick, and he's going to be the guy to drop our next Spirit Ash. Go ahead and defeat him. You can see the drop right here in front of us. There will be another enemy that you just need to be careful of. You can go ahead and pick that up, and that will be your first one. Now, your second one's really close by. All we're going to do is turn to the right now. You're going to see another staircase over here. Work your way up to the top, and there's going to be a chandelier that we want to get on top of. In this little hallway area, you'll have a couple more enemies. We're going to come into this room. You'll have another site of grace. And then right in front of us is a little spot where there's a ladder. You can actually open that ladder so you can climb up top. We're going to sit down and rest to get these enemies off of us. And then we'll come right over here. You can open up this ladder so that it's accessible. You want to interact with it, not swing your sword like an idiot like me. But then you can jump across this chandelier, and right here on the back side of the chandelier is going to be Spirit Ash number 21. Numbers 22 through 24 are all going to be found really close together over here by the First Rise site of grace. And we're essentially just going to be working our way south on the map. These are much easier to get to. So from this fast travel, what we're going to do is staying on this level. We're going to come right over here to this door that leads to a giant staircase. We're going to follow that staircase up to the top. And we're just going to continue to go straight to where you can see another giant Inquisitor, and he's going to have our first ash. Just be careful on this bridge here. You actually have to jump, because if you don't, you'll fall down. But once you get over here, obviously there's going to be several enemies, but that giant Inquisitor guy in front of us is going to be the dude with our next ash. So we'll go ahead and take this guy out. And once you defeat him, you will see the next ash pop up right here on the ground. So you can pick that up. Then our next two are going to be found together. And what we're going to do is take a left from where we just defeated that Inquisitor. We're going to run over here and there's going to be a staircase leading down. And we're just going to follow that staircase down to the bottom. Just be cautious. There are enemies down here as well. But we're going to go all the way around this giant tree to where you'll find a little passageway leading to the back here. Just follow this all the way to the back, and as you get closer, you'll notice another statue at the base of this tree. And we can pick up our next two spirit ashes right here at this statue. Our 25th and final spirit ash is going to be found over by the Spiral Rise Site of Grace. This is where we're going to go to show you how to get to this last one. Again, there are going to be some enemies, but we've already taken them out to make this path a little bit easier to follow. But what you're going to do is work your way up the stairs inside of this building. And when you get to the spot where the windows are, we're going to jump off and go on the roof and take a right. And we're just going to follow this path along the roof. When you jump up, you're going to have some of the giant birds that are up here. I believe there's 3 that you'll need to fight. But once you take out the giant birds, just continue to work your way across the roof and over here to where you can jump up on the next section. When you take a left, there'll be another giant bird right here guarding this door. You can take him out, and once you go inside, you'll find the 25th and final spirit ash right here on this statue. But this is where to find all 25 of the revered spirit ashes here in the Elden Ring DLC. Hopefully this video helps some of you guys out. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.